While the exact amount of money paid to Formula One drivers isn't disclosed, there's always a hint of how much they make annually based on their contracts. Don't you think that they're very well compensated? Well, this video focuses on what drivers are likely to be paid in 2023, so stay tuned for more information on this exclusive topic. To begin, we'd like to take a look at how much they made in 2022. You can't plan for the future unless you know where you are now. It should be noted that the salaries of F1 drivers this year were largely determined by the income, revenue, and budget of their respective teams. Their contracts specify how much they must be paid annually. Mercedes' 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton is said to have earned $40 million in 2022 alone. That's only a rough estimate because it excludes sponsorship deals that he made with brands such as Tag Heuer and Police, a fashion design firm. Max Verstappen is right behind him, having signed a contract with Oracle Red Bull Racing worth $35 million in 2022. Alpine Racing's Fernando Alonso earned $20 million, closely followed by Aston Martin's Sebastian Vettel and McLaren's Daniel Ricciardo, who both earned $15 million this year. Team Ferrari's Charles Leclerc earns $12 million in 2022, followed by teammate Carlos Sainz, who earned $10 million in 2022. This year, Alfa Romeo's Valtteri Bottas and Aston Martin's Lance Stroll have both signed $10 million contracts. Sergio Perez, Verstappen's teammate, is on an $8 million contract. There is a significant wage disparity between him and Verstappen. This is due to Max's abilities and the influence that he has on Red Bull Racing. Mercedes' George Russell is also rumored to earn $5 million in 2022, demonstrating yet another huge disparity between him and Lewis Hamilton, which can be attributed primarily to Hamilton's value as a 7-time world champion with extensive experience. This year, Lando Norris of McLaren, Esteban Ocon of Alpine Racing, and Pierre Gasly of Scuderia AlphaTauri all earned $5 million. Alexander Albon of Williams comes in second place, earning $2 million. In 2022, Guan Yu Zhao of Alfa Romeo, Mick Schumacher of Haas, and Nicholas Latifi of Williams Racing each earned $1 million. Yuki Tsunoda of AlphaTauri is the driver with the lowest earnings this year. He is paid $750,000 per year. All of the drivers are making good money, which is likely to change in 2023. Do you think there's going to be a significant change next year? Following that, we examine the impact of salary caps being implemented in 2023. In 2021, Formula One introduced a new cost cap concept. With few exceptions, teams were required to keep costs under $145 million. This figure was reduced to $140 million in 2022, and it'll be $135 million in 2023. The introduction of a salary cap for Formula One drivers and top team personnel in 2023 is one step closer. A commission meeting held following the Portuguese Grand Prix revealed that the salary cap principle was supported. It was agreed that a salary cap was the most logical way for the budget gap to be implemented in the upcoming 2023 season. Contracts already signed that included the 2023 season are not likely to be affected. Charles Leclerc's contract at Ferrari is an example of this. The teams were supposed to have a maximum budget of $30 million. This would be divided amongst the drivers. Most racing teams are likely to spend zero on wages because the drivers bring sponsorships to cover their wages. The teams may spend more than $30 million on wages, with the excess expected to come from their operational budgets. However, the idea of a $30 million cap was met with some opposition because teams are likely to switch drivers on an annual basis. With the wage cap, switching from a cheaper to a more expensive driver would be more difficult. Individual deals that drivers may have on the side that generate income are unaffected by the cap. Mercedes' Total Wolff is also stating that the framework of earnings for drivers should be discussed in the presence of their representatives so that everyone benefits from the sport's growth. He argued that this would provide a solid foundation for protecting the drivers' future earnings. McLaren's Andreas Seidel stated that they support the salary cap and they can see no drawbacks because it's worked well in other sports. The implementation of salary caps is also subject to a large number of legal considerations. Next, we're going to look at salary projections for 2023. The budget caps are unlikely to have a significant impact on driver wages. The money that the drivers make from their contracts is backed up by personal deals that they make. Because of their good pay, most of them can afford to live in Monaco, which is a beautiful city. Red Bull's Max Verstappen, who has unquestionably had an incredible season this year, is expected to earn $44,650,000 in 2023. According to reports, that figure might actually be higher due to the numerous bonuses that he might be receiving. He's closely followed by Lewis Hamilton, who has a contract with Mercedes worth $44 million per year. His teammate George Russell, who is yet to win his first championship, has a lucrative contract worth $4.577 million per year. The difference in salaries between the two teammates can be attributed to their different levels of success and achievements. Despite the fact that he's not the main man at Red Bull Racing, Sergio Perez is expected to earn $9 million in 2023. Williams Racing Alex Albon is expected to earn $1.8 million in 2023. Nicholas Latifi, his current teammate, is expected to leave Williams at the end of the 2022 tour. After a disappointing performance in 2022, AlphaTauri will pay Yuki Tsunoda a yearly salary of around $700,000, and his teammate Pierre Gasly is expected to join Alpine Racing. Aston Martin is one of the richest teams in the competition, and despite their poor performance in 2022, Lance Stroll is expected to earn around $10 million per year, while Fernando Alonso, on the other side of the garage, is expected to earn around $16 million in 2023. The two Ferrari drivers, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, are expected to earn $11 million each for the entire 2023 season. Valtteri Bottas, a multiple race winner for Alfa Romeo, is expected to clock $10 million in 2023 because his contract runs until 2024. McLaren, one of the most expensive teams on the grid, is up next. Lando Norris, whose yearly earnings in 2023 is expected to be around a cool $22 million, will partner with Oscar Piastri after Daniel Ricciardo departs at the end of the season. Following that, we're going to look at alternative sources of income for the drivers. Now, aside from their wages, the drivers make a lot of money themselves. The better the driver's performance, the more money that they can earn through bonuses and sponsorships. Racing teams prefer drivers who can generate revenue naturally, such as being able to pay for their seats through sponsorships. Personal sponsorships contribute significantly to their income. For example, Lewis Hamilton earns an estimated 8.7 million euros per year just from sponsorships. Puma has a $1.5 million a year contract with Hamilton. Hamilton, who is a fashion-conscious person, also has a contract with Tommy Hilfiger, worth approximately $4 million a year. In addition to that, he has a business relationship with Monster Energy, as well as the Union Bank of Switzerland. Red Bull Racing pays Max Verstappen, the two-time world champion, a hefty $17 million in bonuses each year. Jumbo Supermarkets, Ziggo TV channel, CarNext.com, a used car sales platform, and designer clothing company G-Star also sponsor him. Carlos Sainz's main sponsor has been the Spanish beer company Estrella Galicia. In his earlier years, he was also sponsored by the Red Bull Young Driver Academy. Charles Leclerc is a brand ambassador for the Italian luxury fashion brand Giorgio Armani, which has brought in a lot of money and helped his performance. Lance Stroll, the son of business mogul Lawrence, the owner of Aston Martin, doesn't require many sponsors because of his wealthy father sponsoring the majority of his career. Daniel Ricciardo has a number of sponsors as well, though they don't bring him as much money as one would expect. Amazon, Blue Coast Brewery, Car Sales, and EA Sports are among his sponsors. He's also sponsored by GoPro and was a member of the Red Bull Young Driver Academy in his youth. Mick Schumacher, the seven-time world champion's son, is sponsored by Richard Mille, Vermans Gen-Breton, and Under Armour. These brands bring him a lot of money. Nicholas Latifi also benefits greatly from sponsorship deals with the Royal Bank of Canada and Sofina Goods. The driver's social media presence also places them in positions to earn extra money from advertisements. It's expected that the drivers will continue to earn a lot of money from sponsorships and endorsements in 2023. This will significantly increase their overall annual income. And finally, we look at their investments. The expansion of Hamilton's business empire is something that he plans to pursue. What does he currently have within said empire? In his capacity as a participant in the Walton Penner Consortium, Hamilton made an investment in the National Football League franchise known as the Denver Broncos. The value of the transaction set a new benchmark at $4.65 billion. Recently, information regarding his new production company, Dawn Apollo, became available. Neat Burger is a plant-based eatery with locations in London, and Hamilton's future plans include opening locations in the United States. As a result of his €30 million investment, Hamilton is now a proud owner of a 5-star resort on the Caribbean island of Grenada. Mark Webber, Lando Norris, Alex Albon, Carlos Sainz, and Lewis Hamilton are just some of the names that have made investments in the new golf venture that Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy are working on. These investments are expected to pay back well and bring in a lot of money to the drivers. These are some of the estimated earnings of drivers in 2023. Which of these drivers' earnings surprised you the most? Tell us in the comment section below. Well, guys, that marks the end of the video for today, so just make sure to take a little quick pit stop at the subscribe button for more F1 content, and yeah, I got nothing else for you, so see you later.